Hi there, welcome back to the DutchRC channel for my build of the Durafly P-40N. And well, we'll get started right away. I've got the manual here with me, but really I never really follow the manual or at least the order in which they assemble things. Let's see. Yeah, okay, what they do not say in the manual is, and it is a good thing to do, is to start out by checking if all your electronics work. So all the servos, the retracts, if the plane would have lights, you'd want to check those. If you screw the plane together and then find out that a servo doesn't work, it's much more hassle to replace it then. So, as you can see, I have hooked up a receiver to the leads of the wing. The Aileron servos, flap servos and the retract should now be connected to this receiver. I have hooked up a temporary ESC. This is not the ESC that came with the plane, but it'll do to test the servos. And we'll flip her over. Okay, and I have already set up a model in my transmitter, the P-40, so that should be good to go. And we'll hook up a LiPo and things should come to life. There we go. So ailerons, and the elevator is not connected, of course, at this moment. The retracts, that looks very nice. Let's take a closer look actually at the retracts. The trunnions over here, the mechanism that brings them up, is all metal. The legs are all metal, but they have a plastic sleeve around them for scale looks. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, let's check the flaps. I have my flaps on a slider knob over here. Okay, they seem to be working just fine. Now, if you are one of the unlucky people that need to replace one of your flap servos, of course you need to peel off the sticker, the grey sticker that's over the servos, and there is some stickering along here. And yeah, you can pretty easily route the servo lead through here. I was wondering if that would be difficult, but it looks actually quite accessible. So you're good to go on that. And well, as you can see, the inside of the wheel housing slot is nice and olive drab. It looks pretty good. The previous warbirds from Durafly had these ridges, the scale looking details. Those were deeper. They've done a better job at making them look scale. That's nice. And you might be able to see these slots over here in the wing. That's the spot where the carbon fiber spar is at. So the landing gear is also supported by this carbon fiber spar. And here are some more of those slots. So there is another carbon fiber spar over there to support that. That's very nice. Okay, let's put in the wheels. Is this the right way around? Yeah, oh, and the last thing we need to check, of course, is the bomb servo. There. I've put it up on this switch over here. Yeah. This works by the servo actually pushes the bomb down, up now, but in normal flight down, so the magnet loses contact. Cool, that seems to be working just fine. Alright, and while I have the wing here, I will also be connecting the push rods. I will screw on the control horns, 4 of them, 2 for the ailerons and 2 for the flaps. Off camera, I'm sure you know how to screw in control horns, and then I'll get back to you. Hold on. Okay, so as you can see, my control horns are now installed. I have taken the liberty to add a dab of CA glue between the surfaces and the horn itself to help out the screws. You don't want to have your aileron control horn rip out of the wing mid-flight, of course. Now, all the hardware bags in this kit come clearly labeled. That's very convenient. Aileron, flap. So I used these 2 bags now, and let us install the aileron control rod. Now, of course, I've got everything hooked up, so I'm sure that the servos are centered now. And let's see, is there a right and a wrong way here? I'm gonna be using the outer hole on the servo arm. And as you can probably see, I need to shorten up this control horn quite a bit, so we'll be doing that. Of course, take care not to strain your servo while doing this. Okay, how am I doing now? Quite a bit more. Okay, that looks pretty good. A little more. Of course, I'm now looking to see if the servo will line up with the wing, with the control horn at this length. And now I'll slot it into the outer hole, the last hole in the control horn, and I need to make it a little shorter still. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, how is that? I'm not sure. Little longer. Yep, that feels just fine. Okay, cool stuff. Click. The clevises in this kit actually look pretty substantial, of good quality, and they fit very well. In some cases I put a piece of tubing around them to secure them, but these do feel good, so I'm confident in those. Now, next thing, we'll do the flap on this wing, and for this, of course, make sure your flap is in the upwardmost position, the switch on your transmitter. Okay, let's see. Again, I'm going to be using the outmost hole on the servo arm, and again I need to shorten this one up quite a bit. So here we go. And you might be able to hear the servo a little now. Once again, keep the strain on your servo to a minimum. Nevertheless, it's very convenient to have your radio system set up at this moment, so you can be sure that all servos are aligned at their 0 point. Okay, how does this look? I have not set up the servo slowness, the lack of speed, which is what you want for a flap in my radio. I'm not sure how that is done. Maybe there is a servo slow board in the wing. And the flap is completely flush with my wing. How do I like the angle? Yeah, it's almost a brake flap at this point, which is fine by me. I can set up the angle to whichever I want in my radio. This looks just fine. I'll install the two other control rods on the wing off camera. That'll be exactly the same way, of course, and we'll be switching to the fuselage now. Hold on. Okay, the fuselage. As you can see, I've now connected up my receiver and LiPo to the real ESC of the plane, and I've also hooked up the elevator and rudder servos to test those. So let's see. No, there's not much to see, but you can hear that the elevator servo works and the rudder servo also works. Great. Okay, that was the test of those electronics, and my motor runs just fine. I think it would be wise to check if the motor, the screws with which the motor is secured are fully tightened. And in my case they are. But once again, it's wise to at least check that. And next thing is we'll be installing the tail. Hold on, I'll rearrange things a little. And I can do that on camera, I guess. Okay, let's see. This is the elevator control rod over here. So the rudder control horn will be installed on this side over here. This is the control rod for the rudder and the tail wheel. Now I forgot to mention this in the build of the wing, but you need to rock all these control surfaces, like the ailerons, this rudder and the elevators, back and forth about 6 times to loosen them up. Otherwise you'll be straining your servos too much, and you'll be able to feel that after a few times they do loosen up a little. So, with that done, now of course you need to install your control horn to the rudder and to the elevator. and the control rod for the elevator will be on the right side when you look from the back of the plane. So on this side, on the underside of course, but here you need to install your elevator control rod. So once again I'll be doing the screwing bit, no pun intended, off camera, and then I'll get back to you. Hold on. The control rod horns, sorry, are once again installed, and this is a good time to also adjust the length of your rudder control rod, this one over here. So because it's easily accessible now without the elevator in the way. And onto the elevator now. And the first thing you might want to check is if this spar, carbon fiber spar, isn't too long. So just put them in like this and check if you can press the two horizontal stabilizer parts together. If you can't, if there's a gap left in between those, you will need to shorten up this control, spar a little. As you saw, there was no gap in my case. That's nice, of course. And let me check, have I done things correctly? Yes. The next thing is really installing the horizontal stabilizers. One will go in over here. You can for this use like a CA glue, for instance. Do I want to be doing that? Let's do a dry fit. Let's see what that feels like. Oh, by the way, I'm, as you can see, assembling the plane on the foam that the plane came in, as to not scratch up anything. So you get, with the plane you get a free workbench. Let me turn it around so you can actually see things. As you can see, you've got two screw holes over here, and for the installment of the horizontal stabilizer you need this bag. PVA 2.6 times 6 and PVA 3 times 8. In this bag there are 4 3 times 8 screws to bolt in the horizontal stabilizer, and 1 2.6 to join the two elevator halves over here. So, let's get these cats out of the bag. There we go. No thread lock needed, of course. And as you can see, I've decided not to use glue to glue it to reinforce the stabilizer. This feels just fine. This screwdriver is a little too big. That's much better. Of course, you are screwing into plastic, so don't overdo it. You don't want to strip out things. This one is a little hard, inconvenient to get to. Okay. Yes, done. Now I'm gonna slide the workbench over a little and you'll see why. There, and now I can just hang that horizontal stabilizer down from the table. Okay, next one. Of course, do not forget to install that spar. And line up, of course, the two halves of your horizontal stabilizer. And that's went in pretty well. Check the alignment of the screw holes, and the fit is great. No issues so far with this build. That is, of course, very nice. Okay, I'll slot in those 3 extra screws off camera, and then we will be joining the wing to the fuselage. Now, the manual wants you to install the propeller. Let me check. Yeah, before you install the scale details. I'll get to that later, but that is one deviation from the manual that you really should do. You'd want to install the propeller last for your safety, and it will get in your way otherwise. Okay, just a second, I'll install those 3 screws and then I'll get back to you. Hold on. So with the wing and the fuselage now fully prepared, we can bolt on the wing, and for that you need a bag of screws. Let me see, are there 2 different types in this? It's the bag with the PA 2.6 times 25 and PA 2.6 times 30. And actually, let me look up in the manual which goes where. Hold on. Yeah, the longer screws, the 2.7 times 30, go at the front over here, and the 2.7 times 25, the shorter ones, go at the back. Yeah, that makes sense. The front of the wing is thicker than the rear of the wing. Okay, let's take those out of the bag and check if you actually do have 2 short and 2 longer screws, and I do. Okay, so and the next thing is to decide how to route these servo wires into your fuselage, and I have found out that this hole in the wooden substructure, the first one from the front, is the best one to route your servo wires through, as they come out of the wing at the front, well, at about 20%. Okay, so we put the fuselage on its head and slot in every one of the servo wires. All servo wires in this model are clearly labeled, by the way. That is very nice. Okay, so let's see, where does it line up? Like this. Okay, at this point, of course, check if none of the servo leads are jammed in between the wing and the fuselage, and then gently press down on the wing. And that went together very well. Okay, next up, the screws. The longer 2 screws at the front. Yep. And the shorter 2 ones at the back. There we go. The entire plane, as you've seen in my build, is a bolt together plane. I have chosen to use a little CA glue on all control horns, but you don't need to do that. And again, you are now screwing into plastic, so do not overdo it. So with that all done, we can now add a little scale detail. This has a bit of an unfinished look to it now, but you are provided with this air vent piece that'll slot in over here. Let's see. Yep, okay. And with that you also get two small screws. There, it's the back PA 2.0 times 20. And those screws will screw in from the side. Let's see, where exactly? Yeah, hard to show you on camera, I'm sorry. If you are building this kit as well, I'm sure you'll be able to find the screw hole for these screws. But it's a bit hard to get to actually. And they actually screw into the wing, I think. Yeah, so you could have actually installed this before bolting on the wing. And you can also, of course, remove the wing without taking off this air vent. Okie dokie. Okay, I'll screw in the other side off camera, and then we will be installing the spinner. Hold on for that, just a sec. Alright, done. The next thing, like I said, the propeller and spinner. Now, of course, you get 3 blades with this plane and a spinner, and you could glue the blades in to the spinner, but you really shouldn't, because if you have an unfortunate landing, you can well, probably have one blade that's chewed up, and if you do not glue them in, you can then replace the one blade instead of the entire spinner. Okay, and for the assembly of the spinner you need back PA 2.6 times 8 and PM 3 times 50, 3 small screws and 1 very long screw. So let's take those out of the bag. There we go. And the small screws are intended to screw down your propeller blades. Now, the propeller will be turning clockwise when seeing the plane from behind. So it will be turning this way, and that means that the blade, the front of the blade, the highest point of the blade needs to face that way. I hope that makes sense, otherwise shoot me up a message in the comment section. And let's screw those down. Screwdriver too small. Next one. Yes, that's much better. There we go. Okay, next thing is to attach this assembly to the front of your plane. Okay, this shape over here has to line up with the front of the propeller adapter. It'll slot onto that, so keep that in mind. Okay, check for clearance. You don't want the spinner to be rubbing onto the foam of the nose. It should run smoothly like this. Alright. Put the washer back on. At this point I always use a little thread lock, so that there is no chance that this bolt you are now installing will work itself loose. Okay, do I actually have a wrench handy that fits this bolt? I do. That's a bit lucky on my case there. Okie-doke. Very nice. Next thing, the spinner cone, which only fits one way. And you have one long screw left, which goes into the front over here. And there we go. Cool stuff. No, nothing rubs. Alright, that was the main part of the build really. Let's see, I have now still a few scale details left. 3 antennae, one for the battery hatch over here, one for the top side of the wing, the plane, sorry, and one for this wingtip. Now it's up to you, of course, if you want to install those. Those will always, of course, be the first things to break off during transport. I will I don't know which I'm going to be installing. You'll see in my maiden flight. What else should I notice? The determining of the CG is depends, of course, on the LiPo you will be using. I will be using a 2200 4S. I'll be running the plane on 4S, not on 3S. Like I said, it will depend on the LiPo you will use, how to line it up to get the CG right. Now let me look up the CG in the manual. Is it actually stated in the manual? Yeah, it is stated in the manual. And it is stated as 55 to 65 millimeters from the leading edge of the wing. So you'll have to measure back from this edge backwards 55 or to 65 millimeters. Now, if you are not a super experienced pilot, you should go on the safe side, so 55 millimeters from the leading edge. I think everyone can set it up on for the first flight and see how that feels. I will probably be going somewhere in between, so 60 millimeters. And that is it really. That's the build. I like the looks of the plane. It looks great. I had no real issues other than that the control rods, all the control rods were a little on the long side, about ½ centimeter too long. On the ailerons I actually clipped half a centimeter off of them. So well, it's up to you, but yeah, I think this is just what they had in stock or something, but they were a little on the long side. For now, yeah, there's one more thing I'd like to mention, a bit of a funny really. The kit comes with an Allen key. What? It's used never in this build. Yeah, that is a bit funny, right? Everything is Phillips heads. There is no normal screwdriver in the kit, but there is an Allen key, which is, yeah, you can use it to adjust your tail wheel. Okay. And the last thing that is also supplied in the kit is Velcro to secure your receiver. That's nice, of course. For now, once again, thank you very much for taking the time to watch. I'll be doing a maiden flight, of course, with this plane in the very near future. If you are not subscribed yet, please do, helps me out and you won't miss out on my future videos. Bye for now.